Alright, this is Jeremiah with ADF. Today we're going to do a walkthrough of all the features of the Metris Anacapa. Starting on the outside here, we have a port on the front bumper, which is a plug-in port for our portable solar panels. So this has a little flip cover. Here we have one of our 90-watt portable solar panels here. So we'll take this out of this case. It has folding legs, so you unfold it from the legs, set it down, and I can find the wire coming off of this. And it has a plug-in here, which plugs directly into the front bumper. Once this is plugged in, all we need to do is angle the solar panel at the sun. You might want to adjust that angle once or twice a day, depending on the sun. When you're plugged in, all the battery power will be charged off these solar panels. All of our rental vans have power sliding doors. All I need to do is open it, it'll open by itself. Moving inside the van, these vans all have pop tops. There is a kind of a cover panel here to cover up all the mechanisms from inside the vehicle. This is either going to snap down or have a piece of Velcro here. From there we have two safety straps and two latches. First we're going to remove both safety straps. These latches, I like to call these the Mickey Mouse ears. To unhook these, flip them down. I'm going to rotate this 180 degrees and it's going to unlatch this thing. The most important part of this top, fold this back down, magnet it to the roof. That's going to keep this latch from piercing this fabric when you bring the top back down. So on both sides, I'm going to unlatch this, magnet it to the roof. Now with the door or a window open, I can grab the handles and lift up with the top. You'll want to have a door or a window open to allow the airflow inside the van to keep the top from being stuck closed. With the top up, I can now also take my bed platform and press that to the ceiling as well. Now we can stand up inside the van. Looking at the controls of the van, right here we have a battery monitor, and this particular van has outside lighting as well. The switches are engraved. We have water droplets for our water pump. With this turned on, I have access to water. These are the outside lights of the vehicle. They are engraved for left and for right sides. We have a 12-volt socket as well as two USB charging ports. These are connected to the auxiliary battery of the van. If you deplete the battery of the van and kill that battery, you will not leave yourself stranded. There's a separate battery to start the engine of the vehicle. Inside the refrigerator, we have temperature controls on the button on the side. I can control this here and make it colder or more warm. We like to keep it usually on the third setting. There is a small freezer with a drop-down door. There is the operation of the fridge. This is the Lagoon style table for this vehicle. The handy part of this table is it's very maneuverable. To maneuver it, we need to loosen these knobs. I have a knob to pivot the arm here, a knob to pivot the table on the mount, and another knob to adjust the height of the table. To pivot this, I want to loosen these knobs. So I can pull out on the handle to free spin it, let it drop back in, and now I can loosen this handle. I loosen this one, and now the table is free to spin. I can push it, I can spin it, I can maneuver it even to outside of the vehicle. If I want to take this table off completely, the easiest way is to pull it off from this mount here. I'm going to maneuver this back over. I'm going to remove this from the post there. And now I can remove this post here. I loosen up the vertical height adjustment and this slides right off. I can store this. There's an extrusion on the base of the table mount. This can slide in here. And I can actually lock this in place, lock this knob down, and now I can store my table. Leave it in the back. Underneath this compartment is our gray water tank. This slides up. I have access to my utensils kit. Here we have a cutting board, some knives, forks, spoons, and some cooking equipment. This has carabiner style hooks so I can actually hook this up on something outside and make it a little more usable. We have a couple items to cook with, and the actual gray water tank stores underneath this cabinet. We'll show you how to drain that in a little bit. To hook up the propane for this system, we have these green camping style disposable bottles. These just screw right under the adapter and store in the mount below. When you're not using this, we'll want to unscrew this and leave this unhooked. That will ensure that there's no propane leaks or anything in the vehicle. To light the stove, you want to make sure that propane is hooked on. Switch this over to the light position, hold it down, and I can use a lighter or a match to now light this burner. You'll want to hold this button down for another couple seconds after it's lit for it to fully take on, and then you can adjust your temperature range from there. This van has double sliding doors. There's a button on the pillar, you can see right here. That works to open the doors as well as the handle itself. To set up the lower bed, we have power switches here. One switch is going to control the forward back movement of the chair, while the other one controls the recline. To set up the lower bed, we're going to pull this chair all the way forward, and then we can lay it flat. We will need to adjust the positioning of the ottoman in the back in order to make this all line up. Moving to the back of the van, we have a quick access storage cabinet. To open these, you click them in and twist. Here I have access to my leveling blocks. In order to level the van out, this has a collapsible handle. This handle pulls up and unscrews. From there, I can stack these blocks up, drive the vehicle onto these blocks, and apply the parking brake. And that will help me level the vehicle out so that your beds are nice and flat. If you don't level the beds out, you're gonna roll to one side. These store by stacking it back up, and then I can place this back in here. If you go more than 2 blocks high, you will want to build a small ramp to drive up. If you don't build that small ramp, you'll shoot those blocks right out of the back of the van. Down here we have the water fill. All the vans will come pre-filled for your rental. If you do use all 18 gallons of water and you need to refill, it is done here. So there is going to either be a key attached to this fitting or on the keys for the vehicle itself. We're going to open this fitting, and then we have a fresh water filter here. The hose screws onto the end, and this can go into this hole and fill the tank. You want to fill the tank on low and then fill it until it starts to drain out underneath the vehicle. To set up the lower bed, we have this ottoman. You may need to slide this back a little bit in order to lay that bed all the way down. This teak floor mat is a shower pad. This is used while you're using the outdoor shower so you're not standing in the mud. The rentals will come with a 3-piece cockpit insulating curtain kit. The front doors are magnetic. You'll open your door, these magnet in place, and then you can close the door. These work wonders for keeping out heat and cold. The windshield goes reflective side out. You'll want to put down the visors in order to hold it in place, unhook them, and actually slide that whole visor against the windshield. That will help hold that curtain tightly against the windshield. The vans have swivel bases as well. In order to swivel the seat, there's a paddle on the front, which you'll have to go look and see. There's a small paddle lever on the very front and middle of the seat. So that's going to disengage the locking mechanism for the seat. I lift up on this paddle and I can start to slide the seat slightly sideways. Once it's slid sideways, I can slide it forward and continue to swivel the seat all the way around. Once it's in the rear facing position, I can slide the seat farther back. In order to pull the bed down, we'll want to make sure that we bring the bed down first. We'll want to pull the top down about halfway, pull that fabric in, and then latch it closed. I'm going to pull the bed platform down first. There's also a strap here in case you can't quite reach. I'm going to grab the handles of the roof. I'm going to pull in about halfway, pull in my fabric before I lower it all the way. To latch it in place, it's going to be reverse of how we undid it. We'll roll this material, put the latch down, lock it in place, grab our safety strap, and click it in. Roll this up, the latch comes down, safety strap is clicked in place. Once the safety straps are both clicked in place securely, we can cover up the top. So that is a quick tour of the Metris Anacapa. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a message. We'll be happy to go through and clarify more things in detail. Thanks.